So did it or did it not get a little ghetto at the State of the Union last night?
I think it was ghetto from the time that it started. And I know Morgan talked a bit about this, but I wanted to talk about
She was giving more policy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
100%, which is, that's what we do in the front page news. But over here, I wanted to talk about some things that some conversations that sparked from last night. So first, I know I heard you guys talking a little bit about DJ Daniel. He was a 13-year-old
Little
kid.
boy.
Yeah, that was given a Secret Service clearance last night during the State of the Union address. Let's take a listen to that.
Joining us in the gallery tonight is a young man who truly loves our police. His name is DJ Daniel. He is 13 years old, and he has always dreamed of becoming a police officer. But in 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
That was a great
dope.
moment.
That was dope.
Yo.
And then it was like Rafiki holding up Simba. Remember he picked him up and held him up?
kept picking
His
him
father
up.
picked him up.
And
Yeah.
then
excited.
DJ held up the badge, and when Trump announced it, DJ's face was looking like, for
Really?
real? Like,
Yeah.
is this happening?
He said,
was
damn.
shocked.
He
Yeah.
said, damn. Like,
Damn,
damn,
pick
for
that
real.
little boy up like that, though.
He did it a couple times.
It was like, that's a big little boy.
He was
We saw
excited.
him.
Yeah. But
He was
I-
excited.
And then he
I
hugged
thought-
the agent. He
Yes.
asked the agent, "Can I hug you?" It looked like, and then he
Yes.
hugged the
Happy.
agent. He was really
when
happy,
he
man.
hugged Sean Kern, I was like, oh, like I literally said, oh, and I'm like, there's no way that anything like this can be made bad at all.
That
And
was
then
an effective stunt.
It was so effective, right? But then you had people
think so.
arguing, okay, this was race baiting. This little black boy shouldn't have been used as a prop. And I'm like, are y'all
He's
like
black.
whatever, he's a person of color,
No,
obviously.
okay.
So
Yeah.
I don't know his
He's not
exact
African-American.
ethnicity. But
Guarantee
when
you
I
that.
when I saw
his
that,
head was nappy.
His head was
Stop
not
it.
nappy
Yes, it was.
at all.
No,
It wasn't.
He was black.
the dad,
You
yeah.
think he was black?
His dad
Definitely
was black.
Yeah,
His
it
dad
was-
was holding him up. I don't know if that was his dad, but yeah, it
Not
seemed
that
like
that
that was his
matters.
dad.
I just
father.
don't think little boy
Yeah,
was
he
black.
was
His
black.
head wasn't
He's
nappy.
black.
I mean, it was patchy, but it wasn't nappy.
Well, it was.
Very effective stunt.
Yes, that's my point. So what I'm saying, the point of me and mentioning is not only was it a good moment, but I think it made people, and I think to Trump's like what they were trying to do, and he is so good at what he does, and he does it so subtly. It made people start arguing about all the wrong stuff. I'm like, how are y'all upset?
He's a master at it.
Yeah, how are y'all upset that this little boy? This is one of his dreams. He wanted to be a police officer. You know what I mean?
But why do we call it a stunt? Like, he might have really wanted to do that. That might not have been a stunt because
It's
he
definitely a
He
stunt.
made a stunt
They do
on
it on both
Trump's
sides
end.
too.
What are you
Don't get me
talking about?
wrong. At the
Yeah,
State of the
they do
Union
it. That's
address,
what you
they
do
do
at
it on
the
both
State of the Union.
sides.
Yeah, a
a
stunt makes me
stunt.
feel like it wasn't heart coming from the heart.
It can
Like it
still
was
come from the
malicious
heart.
or something with some type of different intent.
That's right.
Like, yeah.
It
He wanted
was
to
a
give
stunt.
that boy a wish.
You know what he did? It for this, for us to be having this conversation right here. It's effective. That's why it's a stunt.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
There was a few of those he did yesterday.
The trans one, was that a stunt?
Which one?
Absolutely not. That is
I think
very
it was
much
the
real.
volleyball player.
How
She
he
was a
feels
volleyball
about
player,
it.
It was a good moment
That
that
was-
identified as a stunt.
okay. Well, so here's one of the conversations that I wanted to get into about this as well. Is like y'all are arguing about that, but the real tea here is that if we have a conversation about some of the stuff that Trump has been dismantling, some of the efforts to find cures for cancer and other deadly disorders and diseases is on that list. But you're giving this little boy this badge and you're wanting him to have this full life, but you no longer want to help him figure out the reason why he's been able to be here this long, despite what doctors said to him. So I thought that, I'm like, wow, that went over people's head. I don't know how, but it did. And then I know we talked a little about the resistance and what people are trying to talk about the resistance and what people should have been doing or whatever. I do want to, it was very subtle. It was only a few of them, but I know Jasmine Crockett walked out yesterday. Rep Ayanna Presley walked out yesterday, and there were a few other reps that walked out. And Jasmine Crockett actually was interviewed about what she would tell Trump last night. Let's take a listen to this.
If you could tell Donald Trump anything tonight, what would you tell him?
I would tell him to grow a spine and stop being Putin's hoe.
Damn.
Jesus.
All right.
Drop on the clues bomb for Jasmine
I
Crockett.
thought that was a great moment as well too. That people tried.
That was better than the whole Democratic rebuttal that they had that woman. I don't even know who that freshman senator was. That was
fell
better than the
asleep
whole
before she
Democratic
even
rebuttal.
came on.
I didn't know she came on.
Yeah,
I didn't know she came
And
on.
the group of women that were with Jasmine Crockett that walked out, there were like 4 or 5 other senators. They all had on the Good Trouble T-shirts as well too. And then Jasmine Crockett did the
Super Bowl Kendrick
the little
Lamar.
Super Bowl Kendrick Lamar
Not like a joint.
skit for TikTok.
We don't need all that.
Nah,
We don't need
because
all
the
that
two
dancing.
women, they didn't have the rhythm.
There wasn't on beat. No,
so
that was
it's
off.
like,
Yeah.
you know, I said, Jesus
Y'all, the
Christ.
people they tried last night. They
No, we don't need
tried.
that. We don't need that.
I also y'all saw the moment where Trump when in the beginning Trump was talking about Melania working with foster care, and then they panned to her and she smiled. That was my first time ever seeing her act like she loved her husband. What?
Yeah.
I was like, this is her first my man moment. Like, okay. But I wanted to also go into now, because Elon Musk was a topic of conversation online last night as well, because Trump introduced him as the person that was heading Doge and like all those efforts. But he said before that Elon wasn't that person.
In court, they say something totally different.
Exactly. But yesterday online, Elon was viral because he retweeted something that...
This is crazy.
Yes, it was very crazy. He retweeted something that Ben Shapiro said about George Floyd. Let's take a listen to what Ben Shapiro said.
If we are issuing pardons, there is one person that President Trump should pardon from federal charges forthwith. That person is Derek Chauvin. The inciting event for the BLM riots that caused $2 billion in property damage in the United States and set America's race relations on their worst footing in my lifetime was, in fact, the railroading of Derek Chauvin in the death of George Floyd. The evidence demonstrates Derek Chauvin did not, in fact, commit murder of George Floyd. George Floyd was high on fentanyl. He had a significant pre-existing heart condition. George Floyd was saying he could not breathe before he was even out of the car. Derek Chauvin, for large segments of even the tape that was shown, had his knee on George Floyd's shoulder or back, not on his neck. The autopsy of George Floyd showed that he had no damage to his trachea, that probably George Floyd died of excited delirium.
And who is Ben Shapiro for people that don't know?
Ben Shapiro is he's a pundit. He's a conservative pundit. He has a big platform. People do listen to him. But I want to correct
his own podcast. He writes for Newsweek, the Ben Shapiro Show. Just for people that don't know, he's an attorney that don't know who he is.
Ben Shapiro's a big deal.
Yes, and I want go ahead. I want to correct. First of all, George Floyd, the autopsy report that came out that he's referring to concluded that George Floyd died from pulmonary arrest from the knee that was to his neck in the amount of time that it was there, not an overdose. There was things that came up in the autopsy report that he's referring to, but that it was not determined George Floyd's the reason why George Floyd passed away. So I did want to correct that. But Elon Musk retweeted this. And he said, this is something we should consider. And I thought that too, because that was a huge conversation during the State of the Union. People were online arguing about this. You had Arce chiming in, and he was upset, as he should be. He called Elon racist. People were responding to him like, drive a Ferrari, not a Tesla then. But again, I'm like, the timing is kind of crazy, right?
It's a distraction. It's part of the economy of engagement through enragement.
Yes.
He knows that's going to piss everybody off. He knows that's going to get everybody talking. That's a distraction. Like, come on. And
it's hard to stay away from, because it's like watching Baddies West. It's like you don't know why you're so entertained, but you're just watching all this stuff. Yeah. But it was crazy yesterday online. So
did you reach out to Ben Crump?
I did reach out to Ben Crump. He has not gotten back to me yet, but I did because he represents a lot of the Floyd family members.
That's why I asked.
Philanese Floyd, who is George Floyd's brother. So I did reach out to just see if they even care, but he didn't respond, and he normally does. And maybe he doesn't want to even give this any more light. I wouldn't be mad at him.
I wouldn't even give it no energy.
Yeah. So that's all for me.
All right. Well, that is the rumors.
Thank you,
Jess. Thank you, Lauren.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.